Ricochet, catch him midair, fireman's carry. Great counter there by Ricochet. And Ricochet, no, Sammy counters,
If you come at the king, you best not miss.
Acknowledge us.
Hey, this is the Red Carpet Reign featuring TBK, the Turnbuckle King. And what we're going to talk about today is which show outperformed the other. We're talking about NXT versus AEW Dynamite for the episodes of September 10th and September 11th of both shows. We are here at the ring right now. We're here live for Facebook and X as well. And before we begin, guys, I need you to do me a small favor before we do get into anything. Let's double tap that screen.
Welcome to the button. Speed.
Ooh, acts like a sucker. Oh boy. More spinning. What's it gonna be? Uh-oh. What?
So let's do that while we come in. Now we're gonna go over the viewership of both numbers of NXT and AEW, go over the highlights of both shows as usual, and we'll see which show outperformed the other and what show can improve in what areas. Let's see who can't tell right before we begin. CeeLo Meyer, salute to you. With that being said, let's get into it. We are talking about NXT versus AEW Dynamite. So let's go over the viewership first for NXT. Now NXT, we know they just had an episode, and now they're preparing for the October 1st episode of being on CW in Chicago. So with that being said, let's see what the numbers come in. The numbers are in for this week for NXT viewership. They are raking in a 628,000 viewers, scored a 0.19 demographic amongst 18 and 49-year-olds. So the viewership for this here, it actually, I believe it is continuing. It went down actually a little bit because it said 628. Remember last week it was 631,000 at the September 3rd episode. But we know there is the presidential debate that may affect the reason why NXT did not get the same ratings as last week, or if not higher. But it says it marked a slight 3,000 viewer increase for this week's show as well. And then we know this is the WWE Week of USA edition. I talked about that last week. It will be both, well, all three actually, NXT, Raw, and SmackDown all on the USA Network, with SmackDown coming back to USA Network following their departure of the 5-year contract that they had with Fox previously, with the last episode being last Friday. So it's the WWE Week edition, and the show drew, of course, 0.19, but it was 0.17 the week before. So it's doing some work. It's trying to get better though. Trying to get better. So NXT, had a slight decrease. King Groove, salute to you. So a little slight decrease there. Now, with that being said, I went over the viewership for NXT. Let's go over the match card. If you guys can see it on my NXT edition, this was the match card advertised for this weekly episode of the September 10th episode. So we had a lot of TNA crossover. We had the champion Jordan Grace. She had an open challenge. We had appearance from what's her name? Rosemary. We had appearance from Rosemary that was on TNA to NXT, and we also had a surprise appearance of the first time ever on NXT TV, Hammerstone from TNA coming on to NXT TV, which he was the actual surprise opponent of Obi Fame, the NXT North American champion. Now let's go over highlights. Highlights, of course, we had, like I said before, open challenge. So Ruka, she excelled very well. Even though she was defeated by Jordan Grace, she did show out. And of course, Rosemary and Wendy Chu attacked Jordan Grace afterwards, the match. And of course, the beginning of the show, we had the Bloodline. Remember, they invaded the NXT Tag Team Championship match of the champions, Axiom Nathan Frazier versus Street Profits, who replaced the Rascals. The Trey Miguel has an injury. So we had that. And then we also had Julia's in first match on NXT. She went one-on-one against Chelsea Green, and she didn't do too bad. People gave us some crap, but she didn't do too bad at all. So these were the highlights of NXT. That was the actual viewership. But other than that, though, I talked about NXT. They did very well. They're continuing to build their program. The stars, the crossovers, doing very well. So with that being said, we got to give them one word to describe that for the continuing effort that NXT puts in every week. And we already know what one word that will be when they get into that.
Yeet.
That's right, yeet. Yeet is a great way to describe that. So they're continuing to push the needle. And of course, we had debut of Julia. She was a debut of NXT. And you know she's going one-on-one against Roxanne coming October 1st. But I guess Chelsea was a little warm up there. So that was pretty much all of NXT. I mean, I described most of it. Check out my NXT review that I did. And I talk about that, of course, the bonus round attached to it. And if you don't want to catch the whole, if you want the bonus round by itself, you can check the video I did earlier about Trick Williams. But yeah, definitely a solid one. Figure 4 TV, salute to you. Let's move on. Let's switch gears. We talked about NXT, the demographic. We talked about the viewership. We talked about pretty much everything. Now we have to go talk about All Elite Wrestling, AEW Dynamite. Let's talk about their program, and this was for the September 11th episode. Let's see how the numbers came in for AEW Dynamite. Now, let's see the viewership. Now, the viewership came in at 716,000. This is the episode right after the All Out that they had this past Saturday. They said the viewership went up in the demographic and the rating, but let's see how the numbers look, shall we? According to the numbers, it said that the previous week's show it drew 660,000, so it definitely was a 56,000 viewer increase. And the post AEW All Out Chicago, this was in Lexington, Kentucky. It drew a 0.21 demographic. Last week it was 0.19, so it definitely had a big increase. So salute to AEW, they're putting it up. Let's check over their match card, shall we? The match card that was advertised for AEW Dynamite. Now we had John Moxley live. He talked about, the story he got of this isn't Tony Khan's company anymore. He's rolling with Maria Shafir. Of course, the turn on Bryan Danielson after his championship that he retained at All Out with Jack Perry. Then the attempt cash in by Christian Cage after the match. So him and the BCC came out. We also have a match between Mariah May, AEW Women's World Champion, against, it was Queen Amina, and this was an eliminator match. We had a tag team casino gauntlet match. The winners get a shot at the new World Tag Team Championship at Grand Slam. And Grand Slam is September. I want to say it's September. What is the date of Grand Slam again? This is Grand Slam here. But we'll get more to that. But this is Grand Slam is coming up soon. It's coming up soon. And they have that advertised. Then we have one-on-one Jack Perry TNT champion versus the challenger, Leo Rush. And of course, we had another good matchup here. One-on-one match, Ricochet versus one half of the ROH Tag Team Champion, Sammy Guevara. So this was the match card for AEW Dynamite. This was advertised. And let's go over what happened on the show. Let's go over it, shall we, of the AEW highlights. Let's do that real quick. Now the highlights here, we had John Moxley. He been calling out Darby Allin for weeks. And he been saying, where's Darby Allin? I want to speak to him. And Darby Allin, he came out and said, John Moxley, I'm here. I'm not hard to find. If you want to find me, I'm in the middle of the ring. John Moxley came out. He said, Darby, Darby could have said something to John saying he looked up to him, that John always reached out to him, always looked out for him, give him some good veteran advice. And Darby said he don't want to be like John no more. And he could actually, beat John. And John said, you know what, Darby, I didn't think you were ready then. You're not ready now. Now, Darby Allin wanted casino. AEW always had these little battle royals for a championship shot. But he won the Royal Rampage or Royal, whatever. I think it was on Rampage. And he's getting an AEW World Championship title shot against Bryan Danielson at a later date. But John Moxley says that at Grand Slam, he wants to challenge Darby Allin for his AEW World Championship opportunity. And if John Moxley wins, he will go on to face Bryan Danielson. If Darby Allin wins, he keeps his title shot, and he will face Bryan Danielson later on. So that was one of the top storylines of AEW. Then, of course, here we had a very good, solid match between Sammy Guevara and Ricochet. This was a very good match by these two high flyer styles, both similar. Ricochet had some good spots. Sammy Guevara had a good spot off the top of the stage. Ricochet did a good. He jumped off the barricade by the crowd. He did a good moonsault onto Sammy. And Ricochet won that matchup between him and Sammy Guevara. So some good moments there. Then, of course, there was other stories going around. Of course, we had Mariah May. She's looking for Mina. I can't pronounce her name. Excuse me. To say, her the Asian girl, the girl from Japan. Then we also had a tag team. We had the tag team gauntlet match. That was a solid tag match. Jack Perry and Leo Rush actually did good as well too. Let's talk about that match. That match was good. Actually opened the show. I like how Jack Perry got, Leo Rush got some good offense. He had a lot of good offense against Jack Perry at first. But Jack Perry, he came back. He did his thing, and he hit 2 running knees to pick up the win, and he retained his title. And it was a 10-minute match, but very, very good. I think Jack Perry, he was arriving the bus, and then Leo Rush did a Spanish Fly. Good spots by those two. Now let's get to Queen Amita, she from ROH versus Mariah May. This was a solid match too. Amita, she had some good offense in there, but it was Mariah May who got the win. She defeated her, and it both compares had good offense. And then I know Maria Shafir had a very good stare. She was staring them down. So, and of course, we had the Casino Gauntlet match, Learning Tree versus the Iron Savages. Now, here was the order for every team in the Gauntlet match, in case you didn't know. The teams were FTR, Will Ospreay, and Kyle Fletcher. The Righteous, Undisputed Kingdom, The Acclaimed, XMXM Collection. The model agency that was with Maxine Dupree and LA Knight. Yes, they're AW now. Top Flight, The Outruns, and Grizzled Young Veterans. Also used to be on WWE. That was on NXT. But long story short, it was Will Ospreay, the international champion, Kyle Fletcher that won. So they're going to get an opportunity at the AEW, AEW Tag Team Champions, which is currently held by the Young Bucks. So they hold on to those. A lot of good moments here. And of course, this is another setup. We have Nigel McGuinness. He challenged Bryan Danielson to a match. This is for Grand Slam coming up, as I mentioned earlier. This was a good. I guess they had history back to ROH. They had a long history, and I know also that Nigel McGuinness, they've been waiting for a long, long time. He wants to get that going, so we don't see the next move's going to be between these two for that matchup. But other than that, guys, the Grand Slam, that's their next show. Now this will be on AEW Dynamite only, no pay-per-view, no on the main show. That's it. Now they do Grand Slam every year. It's always that, and it's always around this time of the year. Actually, they've been doing it. Yeah, I think they've been doing it since 21. I want to say. But anyway, this particular Grand Slam, it will be September 25th, and it will be airing on the 25th and 28th. It will be at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Do that every year for the past 4 years now. So these are the matches that are up. Bryan Danielson will defend the AEW World Championship against Nigel McGuinness and John Moxley and Darby Allin. I explained that match earlier. And of course, the Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher would challenge the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championship due to Will and Kyle winning the Casino Gauntlet Royal match. So that is the setup right now for AEW Grand Slam. Well, let's see. We got to talk about it. Which show did better, guys? Between AEW and NXT, who did the better show? We got to talk about that. This is going to be a tough one, actually. Normally, I come down. I would say both shows did pretty well. Both AEW and NXT did well. They both had good moments in the show. Like I said, they both got upcoming events coming up. Actually, we got NXT. They're coming up with the October 1st episode. That's going to be coming up. Then we also have AEW have Dynamite. Their Dynamite of having a Grand Slam. Grand Slam will be on Dynamite. So 2 shows we set up for September 25th and October 1st. So that's the next shows, and these will not be PL. These are pay-per-views for both. It will be cable TV regular shows. But despite all of that, I got to get an edge somewhere. Despite AEW putting up a good effort, I will say that NXT still tops as the best show because they have continuous storylines. They always have something fresh going on. There's always something new and fresh, and we have some shockers. Let's admit that we had TNA appearance, as I stated earlier, and we also had the Bloodline making an appearance. No one expecting them to come. And then we had a surprise due to injury, of course. We had the Street Profits show up. So this was good for NXT and good for the brand, good as a whole. And it's one word to describe that.
Yeet.
So we got to give a yeet for that. But they I like how they with the business that they're doing with TNA. Some people are saying that the AEW TNA partnership was great, but was nowhere near as good as it should have been, and that the TNA and NXT partnership is way better compared to when TNA was partnered with AEW. Because you see, they don't partner with it because they were WWE. So that's right, yeet. So they're definitely continuing on. Now, like I said, both shows did well. AEW's doing better. They're doing better. I got to give them credit where credit's due. They're doing better. They are doing much better than they was before. Like I said, there's always room for improvement, and I say that all the time, and I say that for a reason. It's a reason why I say that, because it's true. It's because you're down the gutter don't mean you can't get out of that hole. Don't mean you can't get better. That's always room for that. So with that being said, there is room to get better, and AEW, they might just be showing improvement. Now, AEW here, there's still improvement, but we still need better storytelling. Like I said, with this story here, this is good with Jon Moxley talking about taking over a company. But if Shane McMahon's not involved, we don't see him show up on TV saying, of the whole reasoning behind taking over the company, then it just won't make sense for any reason whatsoever. It just will not make sense. And if it don't make sense, you know where it's going. You guys already know where I'm going with this, right?
What's gonna happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
Yeah, so we'll make the list if it does not get better and improve. So that's we do not want that. Like I said. And then 2, there could be a good story developed with Ricochet and Sammy Guevara. Could be a good story there, but it has to be a story. Now, we know these two had a one-off match, and they more likely will never wrestle each other again because storyline don't make sense. Sammy Guevara is the tag team champion. How can he really have a program with Ricochet, who just came onto the scene in AEW? Now, they said they're getting better with story. If you guys know, there was a recent interview by Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge. He says it right here that there could be, he says right here that he says that AEW is shifting to more storytelling focus, and this was earlier on social media on X. So he said they're trying to get better with storytelling. We got to keep an eye on that and see what the next move is going to be. is that really the case? Because AEW got the right people in the company. They have a lot of talent from the names of, you got a lot of star making names. You got Mercedes Moné, you got Will Ospreay, you got Ricochet, you got a lot of championships over there, but you have no story. So maybe they will finally start telling a story. Maybe they finally will bring that to light. That's what I would like to see next with AEW. So if they said they're shifting over to that, I would like to see it. Hopefully it's not just some type of fairy tale. I really hope so, because we got 2 shows coming up. And I'm telling you right now, no one tells stories better than WWE. I don't care what anybody says. No one does it better. They just don't. I don't see how anyone could tell it better than that. I don't see it. I mean, they just keep going on and going on and going on. And it just does not stop. And like I said, since they said they're going to do that now, since they said they're going to focus more on storytelling, it's going to be a verdict for that. We got to see what the next move is going to be for that. Because like I said before, 2 things I'm going to keep an eye on. As well as the obvious, I'm going to keep an eye on, guys. It's going to be 2 events. Like I said, it's 2 dates we got to remember here. I mentioned them earlier. We're going to see who told the better story. We got September 25th and October 1st for stories. 2 stories. And the stories here is going to be first. First off, it's going to be Grand Slam, September 25th. We're going to see what stories are they going to develop here. Nigel McGuinness, what's the story? Now, my question with him, is he back to being a full-time in-ring competitor? Is he doing this part-time? Is he starting to do a couple matches? Or he's permanently going to do that? Or he's just going to do a few matches, go back to commentary? What's going on with him? That's the question there. I need to know the proper story. Will Ospreay, you already international champion that you just won back at AEW All In against MJF. Now you compete for a tag team title. You're going to be a double champion with Kyle Fletcher. Are you going to beat the Young Bucks? I mean, what's going on with that? So that needs to be unfolded September 25th at Arthur Ashe Stadium for them. But also, we got another important date, as you guys already know, the obvious October 1st, NXT's moving to CW. Now, we're reportedly having CM Punk come to NXT next week, and he'll be there October 1st. He has an announcement to make next week. We do know that 2 championships will be defended. We do know it will be Ethan Page defending the NXT championship against Trick Williams. We also know that Julia will be challenging Roxanne Perez for the women's NXT championship. So there's some big matches going on, guys. Big stuff going on. We gotta see where the stuff is going to lie. What's going to make sense? What doesn't make sense? I would like to see what they're going to do with it. Because if you guys don't deliver with stories, you're going to get clowned, and that's what we don't want. I'm talking about anybody. I will come down on it. We got some major stuff going on here. Major stuff going on. Marshall, salute to you. You said, yo, WWE is greater than AEW. Okay? Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I know right now, NXT is the top show. They're doing the best right now as far as storytelling and quality of matches. AEW's trying to do better. They're slowing up, but they still have room to improve. They still need some things to work on. Let's check over the highlights of both shows. Let's go over NXT first. If you guys remember, Trick Williams and Pete Dunne was in the main event, and this was for a number 1 contendership to face Ethan Page for his title, the NXT Championship at CW. Great match. If you guys missed it, check it out.
Trick trying to get to his feet. Page!
So that was the main event of NXT, the recent episode. And it ended up with Trick Williams winning the match, and he will go on face Ethan Page. So that is in the books. If you guys remember, for AEW, for Grand Slam coming up, now this is not for no match or nothing, but for on Dynamite, we did see a good highlight too, and we saw Ricochet and Will Ospreay.
Oh, Ricochet catch him midair. Fireman's carry. Great counter there by Ricochet. And Ricochet. No, Sammy counter.
So great highlights from both shows, but we gotta go over the numbers. We gotta call it how we see it, and I'm being down the middle. At the end of the day, despite all of that, both shows did better as far as rating goes. They did. Now, the thing about it is, NXT, they came in, they actually lost a little viewership there. They actually lost some viewership. Like I said, that could be said that the presidential debate, whatever the case may be, it could be said for that. But the fact remains, they still lost some type of viewership. So this week for both shows, like I said, NXT did their thing, but they actually, I don't know, just they trying. NXT, I'm trying to see if they get over the 700,000 mark, and I think that would be for the October 1st. So AEW, they did 716,000, and AEW NXT did 628,000. So that is the case between both shows. They did have a difference. AEW brought it way better than last week. Way better than last week before. So I'm glad for that. That's good. You know, both shows actually get a yeet. They both get a yeet. So they both put in the work. I'll give them credit where credit's due, both to NXT and AEW. But AEW, you really got to work on storylines. You really got to continue to develop. It will only be fitting if you do that. If it don't, it won't be the same. It won't mean anything if you don't do that. That's all I'm saying as far as that goes. You got to have the proper build. You got to have a proper story. You got to have a proper everything. Because if you don't, we're going to see a difference. We're going to see a difference. That's what we don't want. But you guys also in the chat, I mean, what do you guys think of AEW versus NXT for viewership for the show? Which show you thought was better? Did you think like AEW was better this week, or was NXT better this week, or was they actually very equal to each other? You guys let me know right now in the live chat and in the comment section below. Love to hear what you got to say, but we are prepared for two shows. We are prepared for Grand Slam. We're prepared for this October 1st episode of NXT going to CW. A lot of stuff going on, guys. And you know that October we do have for NXT, we have Halloween Havoc. Main roster, we have Bad Blood, October 5th. Then for AEW, we have Wrestle Dream, October. So October is going to be a busy month for the wrestling industry, both for WWE and AEW, NXT brand, and main roster brand. You know, and I know TNA got Victory Road going on tonight. Wendy Chu will be over there. She's advertised for a match against TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace. So we're going to see what's going to happen next. We're going to see. We're definitely going to see how things are going to go. Then we'll see the next move here. And we'll see what be solid there. Let's see what the next move is going to be. Other than that, though, guys, I know we are prepared for SmackDown returning to USA Network. But that's all I have, honestly, regarding which show outperformed the other. And we are talking about WWE NXT versus AEW Dynamite for this week. You guys check out both shows and let's see what happened. Now, I heard NXT Level Up is also doing good work over there. May have to look into NXT Level Up too and see what's going to talent over there as well. Other than that, though, guys, let me know what you think of both shows. Greatly appreciate it as we prepare for SmackDown. And, of course, no PLEs or pay-per-views this weekend. that's crazy. We for the past several weeks we had what we had the NXT No Mercy, we had Bash in Berlin, we had All In, and we had All Out last weekend, and All In the week and a half before that. You know, Bash and Berlin, all of it. But for 1 week, we get a break from a major event from AEW nor WWE, and then we're gonna definitely get to simmer down and chill out the rest of the week. Let's get prepared to watch. If you guys watch SmackDown, I will cover that. SmackDown 3 hours, USA Network. Already talked about the previews. Let's get into that. Other than that, though, guys, that's all I have regarding with Show Outperformed The Other. Soon to videos will pop up. You guys click the videos and link below. You guys already know what it is. It is OUNT.
Something happened this weekend, and I've been struggling with it since I retired. But this weekend gave me closure.
Wow.
It really did. Like, it was fun. Obviously, it was fun. I mean, you can't, doing this for as long as I have and being involved.